The air in the auction house was thick with anticipation, the smell of hay and nervous sweat clinging to every surface. Horses, beautiful and strong, were paraded one by one, each fetching a respectable price. The auctioneer's voice was a rhythmic chant, a familiar song of numbers and bids. But then a hush fell over the crowd as the next horse was led into the ring. This wasn't a magnificent stallion or a graceful mare. It was a Mustang, but something was different. Her name was Susie, and as she stepped into the bright lights, her uncertainty was palpable. She stumbled, her head held low, her eyes a milky, clouded blue. The auctioneer cleared his throat, his usual booming voice softening. "Next up, we have Susie, a Mustang mare. She's blind." A wave of murmurs rippled through the audience. Blind? A blind horse was a liability, a pasture ornament at best, and a vet bill waiting to happen at worst. The auctioneer started the bidding low, almost apologetically. "Do I hear $100? 50? Anyone for 25? The silence was deafening, no hands were raised. No one even made eye contact. Susie stood there, a solitary figure in the middle of the ring, her ears twitching, sensing the rejection that hung heavy in the air. For a horse, especially a Mustang with its wild spirit, this was a tragic fate. She was deemed worthless, her life hanging in the balance, with the grim prospect of a slaughterhouse looming if no one stepped forward. The auctioneer was about to declare her a no-sale, a death sentence in disguise. The seconds ticked by, each one feeling like an eternity. Just as all hope seemed lost, a single hand went up in the back. A man, weathered and kind, wearing a cowboy hat that had seen its share of sun and dust, had raised his hand. A collective gasp went through the crowd. Who was this man, and what could he possibly want with a blind horse? He didn't offer a token bid. He met the auctioneer's asking price without hesitation. The auctioneer, surprised but relieved, shouted, "Sold!" The sound of the gavel was like a thunderclap, sealing Susie's fate, but this time it was a sound of salvation, not condemnation. The cowboy made his way down to the ring, his steps calm and steady. He didn't approach Susie with pity, but with a quiet respect. He spoke to her in a low, gentle voice, a soothing murmur that seemed to cut through her fear. He reached out a hand, not to her face, but to her shoulder, letting her know he was there. Susie, who had been tense and frightened, visibly relaxed under his touch. She leaned into him, a silent sign of trust. It was a breathtaking moment. This cowboy, a man who understood the heart of a horse, saw not a broken animal, but a spirit waiting for a second chance. He wasn't just buying a horse. He was saving a life. He led her gently out of the ring, his hand a steady guide. The crowd, which had been silent and judgmental just moments before, erupted into spontaneous applause. They had witnessed something truly special, an act of pure, unadulterated kindness. But the story doesn't end there. The cowboy, whose name was Buck, took Susie home to his ranch. He didn't just put her out to pasture. He began the patient, painstaking process of building a bond with her. He knew that for a blind horse, trust was everything. He spent hours just being with her, talking to her, letting her get used to his scent and his presence. He used sound cues to help her navigate her new world. A click of his tongue meant step up, a soft whistle meant turn left. He created a safe and predictable environment for her, fencing off a special pasture where she could roam without fear of obstacles. He was her eyes, her guide, her protector. Slowly but surely, a remarkable transformation took place. The once terrified Mare began to blossom. Her head, which had always been held low in defeat, was now held high. Her ears, once constantly twitching in anxiety, were now relaxed and attentive, always listening for the sound of Buck's voice. She learned the layout of her pasture, the path to her water trough, the location of her favorite shady tree. She would nicker with excitement whenever she heard his truck coming down the driveway. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. She had found her sanctuary, her person. Buck had given her more than just a home. He had given her back her life and her dignity. The bond between Buck and Susie became the talk of the town. People would come to the ranch just to see the blind Mustang and the cowboy who had saved her. They would watch in awe as Buck worked with Susie, their communication a silent dance of trust and understanding. He would even ride her, not with a bit and bridle, but with a simple rope around her neck, and the gentle pressure of his legs. He would guide her with his voice, and she would follow without hesitation, her trust in him absolute. They moved as one, a perfect partnership built on patience, empathy, and love. It was a testament to the fact that a disability doesn't have to be a limitation. Susie, the horse that no one wanted, became an inspiration. She taught everyone who met her about resilience, about the power of trust, and about the incredible capacity of animals to overcome adversity. Her story is a powerful reminder that every life has value, regardless of its perceived imperfections. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to see the spirit within. How often do we judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a horse by its eyes? We dismiss those who are different, who don't fit our preconceived notions of what is useful or valuable. Buck saw what no one else could, a brave heart beating in a frightened body. This story isn't just about a man saving a horse. It's about the profound connection that can exist between humans and animals. It's about empathy, about seeing the world through another's eyes, even if those eyes can't see. Buck didn't perform a miracle. He just offered kindness. He offered patience. He offered a chance. And in return, he received a gift far greater than any prize-winning stallion could offer, the unwavering loyalty and love of a grateful soul. Susie's story went viral, touching the hearts of millions around the world. It became a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in a world that can sometimes feel dark and uncaring. It reminds us that one person can make a difference. One act of kindness can ripple outwards, inspiring others and changing lives. Buck's decision in that auction house didn't just save Susie. It enriched his own life and the lives of everyone who heard their story. It encourages us to be the Buck in someone's life, whether they have 2 legs or 4. To be the one who steps forward when everyone else turns away. To see the potential where others see a problem. To offer a hand, a kind word, a second chance. Because you never know, you might just be saving a life and finding a friend in the process. The world needs more stories like Buck and Susie's,